I just did an exam, and there I was also had a question about why Pakistan is lacking in communicative competence in English language. However, there is one thing that we need to see. It's not just Pakistan; it includes all the countries where we are not having this stuff in practice. Well, the answer is pretty clear, but I'll just give you a short overview of it that you would love to have for yourself, so that you can understand what like the real situation is and how we can connect ourselves into this internationalism where language, of course English language, is required for all of us to practice it, because it helps us in connecting to the world where we are having like I guess more than millions of like people who are fluent in this language, and we can reach them as an audience and at an international level, solve the problems and many other things. So the thing is that there are certain theories that are related to it, such as from Noam Chomsky. There is an innate learning theory where he mentioned that a language can be learned because of innate capacity of a human being, and he can learn any language that he is exposed to because of that innate capacity. But however, it's also been said that later on with the practice of with the passage of time, that capacity is lost because of the age and many other factors. Now, there is a thing that when you get a child, he's provided with those skill. I mean, those that kind of exposure to that language. So if you do at your home, if you make him think in that language and make him speak and do the functions in that language, then it is going to really be easy for that kid to learn the language and acquire it in a way that is like really proficient. Similarly, it's also been 100% true that when you grow up, there is a lot of societal pressure, and you cannot speak. You think like awkward in front of people because they are speaking different language, and it doesn't allow you to speak in the language that you want to progress in for your future, especially for the job sector in the capital of Pakistan and other countries of the world. Like it's like really important nowadays because the marketing increasing day by day, and more people are learning this language as well. Now there is another thing, another theory. But before going to another theory, we need to focus on it a little bit more. That this innate capacity, how can it be increased? What's the solution? So there should be a proper course designed by the government, right? Where all the parents should be pushed to push the children that kind of course, right? And overall the teachers, all of them shouldn't be allowed to teach in the private or in the regular colleges if they do not have enough communicative competence in English language. So they would definitely work for it and they would achieve it. And when you have teachers all around the country, right, speaking English, so it expands, right? Like all the people in your education sector, they know the language, and once they know the language, those the parents and nearby people, of course, they're being influenced, and this is how the language is like increased in its communicative competence. And even though English is the official language of Pakistan, but still it's lacking a lot of stuff to be is like lacking a lot of competence in its a majority of the users. Now another theory, which is of course the psychological theory, you can compare it to like behavioralism, right? Where when you practice something, or when you're being reinforced with a positive reinforcement, right, with the negative reinforcement, you just learn it. Of course, if you provided with an award or something good when you do something right, it gives you like a positive view that you're going to do it again. But if you fail and you've been provided with something bad, it is a negative reinforcement that might help in certain cases in learning the stuff for a limited time, but it doesn't motivate you. Motivation is the main thing that we need to focus. So the positive reinforcement is like lacking. That's like really important. So there should be a little psychological touch to the teachers as well who are like practicing English language. Now the important thing is that alongside the competence and alongside the improvement, there should be a proper government program, right? At international, I mean nationally, first of all, where in every ad there should be a small amount of promotion, right, of a certain stuff, right, in that language. I mean in English, right, or certain promotion of English language, right? Where everyone should be made aware of each and everything, like why it's important, and there should be some kind of scenes in them, right? Or the government should also make commercial inside the commercial break. They should introduce some stuff, right, which would tell to the audience like to practice language in a way that they feel confidence. Because confidence, lack of confidence, is one of the main problem in Pakistan, and not just in Pakistan, around the world. Because there are a lot of people when they practice language, they feel shy, like I mentioned earlier. So the practice, it can only be made possible if the government and if the others they show some of a little bit political will, right, into these efforts that they can tell to the world, tell to the people, tell to the nation that it's something normal, right? Just normalize it, and once you have normalized it, you would start speaking it wrong, right? Whatever, just go for it. And with the passage of time, because of improvement in all these fields, and because of the procedure and the curriculum which demands you to bring communicative competence, and there shouldn't be like the students, they shouldn't be allowed admissions, right, unless and until they get a certain communicative competence in spoken language at certain levels. So what would it do? There is no course, right? Can you believe it? There is even no course in the schools where they make you practice the language, where they make you practice English language, right? And that is one of the main problems. They just give you the books in English, and when it comes to practicing, even the native speakers all around the world, when it comes to speech, when it comes to debate, and when it comes to spoken language, they've got like really lost in the skill that they were supposed to bring up forward, even apart from being a native, right? I've seen a lot of people, they face a lot of problems while expressing their ideas clearly. So overall, any language for you, because language represents you, right? It should be any language, but for now, the entire world is connecting. Everything we've got online, of course, been in English, and the translation tools for the AI and other stuff, they are also improving the learning. They're helping, of course, all of the people to learn English more and more. So it's like a global pool that's already been created, that's already been generated, and this global pool has all the people, of course, speaking English, and more people are entering into it every day, and that is the reason why there's been a lot of scope in this field of literature, and why a lot of people leave the like medical fields and the other fields and come into this field, right? So of course there's a significant potential in earning as well, and there's a significant requirement as well, because when you're processing something, if you have expertise in a certain language, it helps you a lot in processing those things like faster within seconds. So you don't have you can easily process the things. You become so much close to the language. If there is anything, you just take a look of it and you just go through all of it, and you can solve many real life problems just by reading, just by taking a look of those stuffs, right? Because you understand it. Once you understand it, there is no problem in anything else. So language acquisition, right, and language learning, it's not just for someone just in Pakistan, but all around the globe, right? Of course, if you hate English language, you must practice any other language, and it should be practiced in a way that you should have the working proficiency in it, and it should not be like just a limited working proficiency. It should be like really good. So you won't be having any problems, you won't be having any kind of tensions and other stuffs. And I've seen like in a lot of people who are good in processing the language, they most of the time go over any kind of anxiety and those kind of stuffs, because they are able to express themselves around the world instead of just shying in front of their neighbors, in front of their fellows, right? So teach your kids the language skills. That's really important. And of course, today I'm sitting telling you over here, right? Tomorrow the time may be gone, right? So at that time you might not even recognize, right? Because even here in Pakistan we have got like the military examinations and the other examinations. There is a thing that's called verbal intelligence that's been properly checked. If you're able enough verbally in English or in any language, right, depends upon the position, if you're having enough competence, right, in a language, if your brain is working enough to have a verbal competence, then you've been provided a chance to go forward and serve. And that is also important for processing the things, right? And of course, when you process the language properly, your thought process, it becomes so much good, and it becomes so much smooth. And once you have got a smooth thought process, you don't have blockage in your brain. I mean to say, when you don't have blockage in your brain in bringing the ideas right forward. So it solves a lot of things. Believe me, it solves a lot of things. And I've seen people changing their lives and getting the energy that they were never having ever before in their lives. So that's all for today. I hope you must have got something from this video if you have watched it fully. If not, it's okay. Ciao, bye bye.